Hello YouTube and welcome to this Amazon Swordswoman deck profile brought to you by Nova Slash. This is my first deck profile that I'm actually making. So if you could leave your comments below and give a few likes to the video if you like it. And so yeah, without further ado, first are the monsters. So 3 Amazon Swordswomans. They are your main card in the deck. They bounce back all battle damage. They're 1500 attack, 1600 defense, 4-star Earth Warrior. Pretty easy. Amazon is fighter, pretty much the same, but 1300 defense, and instead of bouncing back, they just nullify any battle damage involving this card. Giant Rat, search for an Earth 1500 or less attack. And Cardi. Not too many monsters. Most look at this and they think, how can this work with so few monsters? But it's pretty easy. There's a lot of, there's quite a bit of stall until you're able to get at least one monster, and once you get one monster, it's pretty much, you can work from that to do a number of combos. The whole thing about this deck is the synergy with the monsters that you have, which is basically it's these 9, and you can work from those 9 in a multiple of ways. So on to the magics. We got 3 chicken game. If you don't know what chicken game is, basically if you got lower life points, you won't take damage. That's the same for your opponent as long as this is out too. You can pay 1000 life points to activate one of its other effects. Draw 1 card, destroy this card, or give your opponent 1000 life points. And it can't be chained. Nothing can be chained to it. Rhoda, warrior returning alive. So bring a warrior back to your hand from the grave. Hidden Armory, mill top card and search for a equip from your deck or graveyard. MST. And the big boy in this deck, Megamorph. This has multiple applications. The majority of the time I use it with Amazon Swordswoman. You'll be lower life points majority of the time, thanks to chicken game and the fact that there's not too much consistent damage. It's a lot of burst. So majority of the time Megamorph will increase rather than decrease. Sometimes it does decrease though, which can still be in your benefit, depending on the situation. Majority of the time though, this goes on your opponent's monster, and you run Amazon Swordswoman into the monster with Megamorph. And with today's meta, there's a lot of everything has a boss monster, at least with 2000 or more, so you're getting quite a bit of damage tossed into there. 2 mage power, so increase 500 attack and defense for each spell and trap. I think that one is pretty self-explanatory to why. It's the same thing as Megamorph, pretty much. Equip it to your opponent for Swordswoman, or equip it to Amazon's Fighter or Giant Rat to basically run over everything. Cursed Ornaments. This decreases the monster's attack by 600 for every monster on your side of the field. This thing is, it's trolly, because when it's sent to the graveyard, regardless of how, it re-equips to another monster on the field. Majority of the time, I toss this onto Swordswoman, or if something is a little too overpowered, I'll toss this onto their overpowered monster and toss out Fighter, Giant Rat, or whatever the case may be. There's 3 of them, so chance of getting them is still pretty good. Twin Swords of Flashing Light Trice. This one you got to discard for, but it decreases your monster's attack by 500, and it can attack twice during each battle phase. Unless you were running over majority of the time, this wouldn't really help you, unless you're running it with something that isn't destroyed by battle. But this gets equipped to Amazon Swordswoman majority of the time. Waboku, compulsory, Draining Shield, Torrential Tribute. You could go Dark Hole if you wanted, but I prefer doing it on my opponent's turn. That way I'm able to mess with them more, because if you allow them to, if you use Dark Hole, then they're able to do all their setups instead of you being able to use Torrential and stopping their play to begin with. Spiritual Earth Art Kurgane. That's when you tribute 1 Earth in order to special summon 1 Earth from your graveyard. It works with everything. Call of the Haunted, 2 of them. It's not really a problem if it gets stuck out on the field. Mage Power. It's pretty easy. If you got a Call of the Haunted stuck on the field, you just use Hidden Armory and search for a Mage Power. So 2 safe zones. And for those that don't know what safe zone does, it pretty much makes your monster untargetable, can't be destroyed by battle or by card effect. So safe zone onto Amazoness Swordswoman with Trace and Cursed Armaments. You're sitting at 600, 500, 11, 400. So if you take a second monster, you basically have 0 attack on a monster that bounces back all of the battle damage. Toss a Megamorph onto their monster, and it's game. It's game. You get 1 attack in, 2 attacks, it's game. Safe zone, so yeah. It does have the drawback that if safe zone is destroyed, then the monster is also destroyed. But I still prefer this over Queen, because in order to get Queen out, you gotta sacrifice, and you would have to use I forget what the hell it's called, Storming Forth. The Monarchs are Storming Forth or something like that, where you can sacrifice 1 of your opponent's monster at any time. Bottomless Trap Hole. Staple. Bottomless Trap Hole, Compulse, Torrential. Those are the 3 staple traps. Mystical Space Typhoon, Rhoda. It's a warrior deck. As per side deck or extra deck, I got Cyber Dragon Nova. I know it's a 5-star, but I run Ptolemaeus. Constellar Diamond for the same reason, Ptolemaeus. Castel, Musketeer, Abyss Dweller, Wind Up Zen Meister, in case I actually want to go for power and just blow the opponent's away. And Utopia. The extra deck's not really that great because I actually don't have a lot. I'm actually just getting into this, getting back into this after I had the majority of my decks stolen. So yeah, some of the things that are missing from this deck is stuff like Amazoness Village or Amazoness Heirloom. Village would allow me to special summon another Amazoness after the first one is destroyed. It does give an attack boost, which is a little but that's easily fixed by Cursed Armaments. Amazoness Heirloom, it's basically, it stops them from being destroyed by battle once per turn. So, Trice, Swordswoman, Heirloom, and whatever they attack is destroyed as well. So it's a good way to run over pesky effect monsters. Just toss on Safe Zone and Heirloom and you're good to go. Right, you know. Yeah, I believe that's it. So the main combos to this are basically power up your fighter. Okay, fighter or rat with Megamorph, Mage Power, and yeah. That's one way to go about it. That's not my preferred way though. It's Swordswoman, power up their monsters, Cursed Armaments, Trice, Safe Zone. Right? It's honestly, it's the better way to go because you're able to get a lot more damage off, and it requires a little bit of patience, and it requires you to hold everything in your hand until the right moment. Obviously use your stalls: Waboku, Compulsory, Draining Shield, Torrential Rate. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 stalls. Bottomless, right? Call the Haunted, bring out a giant rat, or bring out a fighter, or Amazoness swordswoman. Or if need be, just go into Utopia from 2 fighters. Majority of the time I don't use an Amazoness swordswoman to exceed into. It's pretty useless. Unless it's for something like Kestel or Abyss Dweller, where it absolutely needs to be done, otherwise they're going to do something. Like the Shiranui or Cyber Infinity. God, I hate that guy. He basically it's basically you gotta force their hand. You gotta figure out how to force their hand, either by using chicken game or something. So yeah. And that is the deck profile. So if you guys got any questions, just ask in the comments below. If you got any suggestions for swap outs, let me know. This is a work in progress, but everybody in my area is going to be running Monarchs. I mean, we already got like 4 people running them in a 30-person tournament, and another 10 of them were running Pepes. So now the Pepe Le Pews are all banned up and gone. So everybody's probably going to be moving to my favorite, the Monarchs. It's going to be fun running this against them. Alright, so let me know what you guys think.